Hi everyone, well my gimbal finally arrived. So I've just taken it out of the box and I thought that I'd show you what it looks like in the box that it's actually come in. It's the Fosicam and it's the FM45, I think that's what it's called, the FM1-45. Comes in this great little box that's really sturdy. I mean it's actually really well packaged. Only came after a few days of ordering, so it's been really fast process coming over. But let's have a look at the actual box and see what's inside it. So I'm going to open it up. Let's see if we can get this over here. So you can see here, I've made it fairly light so you can see what's going on. There's a bunch of plugs that you get, so you can use it all around the world. There's European, there's US plugs. The Australian plug obviously is inside here as well. Now I've also noticed that there's a couple of leads that you actually get as well. These leads, there's one that you can power up. You connect it, and I'll show you where all these are soon, but you can connect the actual camera this to the gimbal, and then that sits in front of the camera for Sony cameras so that you can use the shutter. It uses the remote control features of the Sony camera so you can press record and stop, etc. And it works really well. This here is just to power your Sony a6500 or a7R2. You just connect this to the gimbal and then into your actual camera so it can be powered while you're actually using it. So there are a couple of leads that come with the actual gimbal. You don't have to order those separately, they actually just come with it. It also comes with this little stand that you can use when you're balancing the camera as well. So I'll take the gimbal out so that you can have a look, and it fits nicely inside this package. So this is the gimbal itself. I'll just switch to the other camera so that you can see it from the front. Let me just close that box. So this is the actual gimbal. It's actually quite small, so it's not too big at all. It's much smaller than what my KMTV gimbal was. And I'm just going to move this battery so I can put it down and show you how this all works. So let me just put the case back down out the way. And then I'll switch to this different camera and we can have a look. So if we bring the gimbal over, you can see it's actually really quite small. It takes up to, I think it's 1800 grams, so it'll easily take an A7R2 with a decent lens on it. The 16-35, for instance, you could easily fit that on there. I'll just adjust this exposure so it's not so bright now. And basically all you'll do is you'll screw in this attachment. Now you've got the two attachments underneath there, so you can screw in different things. If I screw this on, then I can open that up. Now it's actually really quite a light gimbal. It's actually quite small, which is good. I really like the way it feels in your hand. Now you have got this control at the front is if you want to take photographs. Or actually start and stop the video. You also have a attachment at the side here that you can take off, and so you can run things like your monitors. Like I've got the HD focus, I could run that from here out on a some sort of device so I can hold the monitor there. This is just for doing your upgrades, I think, and charging the actual unit. Now a couple of things with this. It only has an internal battery, so it doesn't have an external battery or a changeable batteries that you can put in, but you get 10 hours, and I've got that in my KMTV as well, and I never found that an issue. That's ample enough for me to be shooting for the whole day. I suppose if you wanted more than that, well, this isn't the gimbal for you. On the side here, you'll notice that there's basically like a USB port here, or a connector. That's what you actually attach that this onto, so that you can get the remote control of your camera. Or if you don't want the remote control of your camera, you're just going to press the start and stop. You can actually use this to power up your camera from there onto the actual unit. And I'll show you how that works when I've got this all set up, so you can see how it actually functions. But yeah, it does. It actually feels really nice in the hand. Like it's really nice and small. But it's powerful enough that I can stick on my full frame Sony cameras or the GH5 with a decent lens on it as well, something like the 12-35 or whatever I could put on there, and it'll easily take that weight. which is good. Feels like it's well made. There's plastic on the handle here, but everything else feels like metal. All these sections feel like metal, but very nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up, and then I'll take it out and I'll show you some of the results so I can upload those for you as well. It is toolless, so it's really easy to set up and balance, so there's no tools required to do it. It does have some great follow modes. If you looking at, there's 4 modes that you can actually set this on, but the mode I like, which is mode 4, will actually tilt the camera, so it looks really nice when you're moving and it tilts into things. Rather than being just steady all the time, it will tilt up and down like that. It works great in inverted mode. So what I'll do is I'll set it up, and I'll show you in a minute how that looks once it's set up, and then we'll go out and have a look at it being actually shot. Okay, so now I've got the gimbal actually balanced, the thing on it. I'll show you why I like it, because if you look at it from here, you can see that this 45-degree angle that you've got at the back here lets you still look at the screen at the back. So when you turn it on, it's very fast to turn on. You can see that you can actually control the screen and everything at the back, so you've got full access to that, whereas normally they're hidden by this because the motor sits actually up the top, which is what I really like about it. You can see that it's powered up at the moment from the gimbal itself, so the power is running from here up to the arm over here, which means I've got power for the camera, which is also really good. And I will go and shoot in a minute, and you'll sort of see how this works when we're actually outside doing it. What I like is, look, the modes are the same as any other gimbal that are out there, but what I do like is the number 4, because when you're using that, if you tilt, it actually tilts the camera, so when you're walking you can get a nice tilt coming in, and I'll show that when we actually do when I show you doing the actual videos itself. I've got a home button that I can just click to basically go home immediately in again. You can do the inverted mode if you want to. If I just pull on the normal modes, let me pull down, I'll see which one it is. If I pull down inverted mode, it will go into inverted mode as well. So I can do that if I want to. But yeah, really good. So what I'm going to do now, I'll go out and I'll take some footage, and I'll show you actually how the footage looks, so you can see. At the moment I've got the 18-105 lens on this gimbal, so I'll show you how it looks.